everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dialogues from the President's Corner featuring Dr. Zarda, President of Greensboro College, as well as our special guest today, the great one, Dr. Reverend Robert Brewer, Campus Chaplain and Professor of Religion. How are you both doing today?
Doing fine.
Yeah, doing great. Thank you.
So today we wanted to talk about NC campus engagement and the ongoing NC Hunger Challenge, which Robert and some students have been helping to lead this semester. So just to start from the top, so Dr. Zarda, do you want to talk about NC campus engagement? Like, who are they and what kind of work and partnership do we have with that organization?
Yeah, Greensboro College has had a relationship with this organization for quite a while, decades really. But recently, North Carolina Campus Engagement kind of reorganized or refocused itself. There was a time when we did a lot in the community and a lot of different projects. And for various different reasons on their side, they sort of took a pause and reorganized as far as how they're doing things, renamed themselves. They used to be called the Campus Compact, and now they're NC Campus Engagement. And we really are engaged primarily at the level of focusing on student success, but also involving faculty development. And of course, today, what Robert will talk about is the most active project and a very exciting one, a very important one.
So, Robert's project is dealing with food insecurity in higher education. So I guess this is a question for both of you. How is it, one of those things that aren't necessarily talked about on college campuses and it's the importance of it?
Yeah, let me, Matthew, answer that at the macro level and ask Robert to really talk about campus. I think many people in our culture are surprised that colleges and universities have to deal with hunger among their students and to some degree their faculty and staff as well. But it's real. It's very real. Without getting too much into numbers, the wealth stratification in our country is at an all-time high. The wealthy are more wealthy than they've ever been, and those who have little have less than they've ever had. And that affects those who we give access to Greensboro College. Real quick demographics, again, without getting too many numbers, for our traditional undergraduate students, which is the core of what Greensboro College is, more than half are eligible for Pell Grants, meaning the federal government deems them to be needy and needing federal support to come to college. And that is something that's who we are, that is who we serve. The last thing I'd mention is that I think many people are surprised how often students are really committing to their academics, their theater, their community service, their athletics, and they don't eat at regular times. They're not in the usual pattern of what we consider the 3 meals a day. So this initiative that's underway that Robert is driving on campus is really a very important one.
Yeah, I can piggyback on that and say that most of the time we think of college students as being poor and having no money. We remember those days of ourselves being in college and wondering where we're going to eat or how we survived those days. But really, there is a pretty difficult time these days with our students. It's a real evident that students are different than they were maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, and that they experience this kind of insecurity that is more prevalent. Recent federal studies show that around 23% of students are food insecure in the U.S. That's about 4 million students in the U.S. That also includes 12% of graduate students who are food insecure. That's really double the rate of all U.S. households. So college students experience food insecurity at a double rate than most people in the U.S. And some studies have even said it's up to 34% of students who are in college are experiencing food insecurity. That means they may not know where their next meal is going to come from, or where, they may miss a meal a day or two, So it's a pretty terrible epidemic. And it's hidden because students can hide it really well. Students who have a meal plan can be food insecure. Students who look healthy can be food insecure. Students who have a job can be food insecure, like you were saying. They might be in theater or jobs and they miss times for meals and they just forget their meals. I know I have students who show up to my office and say, "Oh, I forgot to eat today." I said, "I don't know. How did you do this?" But they're just overwhelmed, busy. They work. They don't have access to the meal or cafeteria when it's open. And so they can also have a meal plan and still be food insecure on our campus. And so it can be a hidden problem and issue that we may not see visibly within our population, but it is real. And there's a stigma to it. Yeah. And students don't want to talk about it or want people to know that they're hungry or going without. And so they hide it really well. And they may slip up here or there and say something to someone who then finally hears it and says, "Oh, there is help and there are ways in which we can address this issue for you."
So to combat food insecurity in higher ed, North Carolina Campus Engagement has created the NC Hunger Challenge, which you and some students have been working on this semester. So do you want to talk about that? Like, what actually is that campaign? Is this GC's first year in the campaign and the efforts of Greensboro College's past in terms of like helping to combat food insecurity?
Right. Since we re-engaged with North Carolina Campus Engagement, we applied for a grant last year with them to receive funding over the summertime to help combat food insecurity. It was a really great grant because we could use that money for things other than the food that we provide. So that helped us actually provide collection boxes. It helped us provide more signage. It helped us provide bags for students to take food with them. It helped us to do training with our faculty and staff. So that was a really wonderful grant to receive from them. And so because of that, we said, let's keep it going. And so we applied for this program to run for the fall semester. And so from August until December 20th, the challenge is to raise awareness and raise money and raise donations. So we have required 5 events to do through this challenge. 2 of them are food drives, and one of them is with Food Lion. Our partner is Food Lion. They are the ones giving the reward at the end, and they're also the ones providing sponsorship for this program. We had a food drive a few weeks ago that was at Food Lion. And then we have a food drive at a game. We're calling it the Senior Day Super Bowl. And so we're going to collect cans at that moment as well. So those are the 2 food drives we have. The others are just events on campus. And so raising awareness. We were at a volleyball game, passed out information, and offered people an opportunity to donate then and give them some information about the pantry and how they can get involved and how they can be a part of it. And so every one of those events is a certain number of points. And so every campus that we're engaged with, are competing with, are also doing these events. And so we can do up to 11. We are committed to do all 11, which is a lot in a semester. But we are also part of that challenge to raise the most cans. And so we're pushing out our efforts to do that. And then the last effort is Instagram. We have an Instagram page at GC Pride Pantry that you can follow. And if you follow it, you will have a lot of posts show up on your feed because every post is a point, and we are posting as much as possible about it. But one of the great things, it's oversaturation a little bit. There's a lot of posts. But somebody said to me the other day, I really appreciate all the posts because it kind of normalizes the need to support and help students realize there is a way to get access to food. So those are the things we've been doing for our food pantry. I do want to mention our food pantry started with a grant from the United Methodist Church in 2022. And so they gave us a grant for a small private college from the missions area of the Global United Methodist Missions. And they offered to us that grant to start this pantry. And so we're thankful for them. And we're thankful for all the donations we've received. Because of the food drives we've been having this semester, we haven't had to purchase food this semester.
That's amazing.
Which is wonderful because we've received all the food we've needed to give out so far. And with our food drives, it's been really successful.
I know this semester you've been working with students and the ones helping with going to the Food Line and having the events on campus and doing the social media posts. Luke and Xypher, they weren't able to meet with us for this recording, but we caught up with Luke and Xypher earlier this week to talk about their experience working with the food challenge. And here's a clip of that interview. What have you found to be the most interesting and fulfilling part about all the events you're doing for the NC Hunger Challenge with Xypher?
Oh, the most interesting part for me is I'm very much a numbers kind of guy. So one of the most interesting things I have found during the NC Collegiate Hunger Challenge events is like how much food we're collecting, how many people are attending the events. Our events have always been really successful during the entire challenge. Like we've had a lot of participation. Our first event, we made like 70, 80 goodie bags, like way more than what we would think would be necessary. And we ended up giving away all of them. Yeah. We had more than enough. We had to make more of them as we were going along. And so that was like really interesting to me
Definitely the most fulfilling part has just been seeing all the progress that we made at the beginning of the semester. Just knowing that all the work that we're doing is at least gets us one step closer to ending hunger and security on campus, and just working with other people, other organizations on campus, and just seeing how everyone is so helpful, so willing to help us out with everything that we do. And that's definitely been the best part about working with the challenge.
Mhm.
Can you talk about some of the lessons you've learned in terms of coordinating and creating events? Because those are things that aren't typically like in a classroom homework assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to talk about that?
One of the biggest lessons that we've learned is we've got to improve communication. If you can get everybody on the same page, and we can improve like recruitment and stuff, getting everybody on the same page, we can accomplish a lot.
The number one lesson I learned about organizing all of this is just I really have to be really good at time management in order to be able to run the Pride Pantry successfully in all of our events, and just learning how to properly connect to other people. Again, I mentioned everyone that we've reached out to have been so willing to help us out. And I think a big part of that is like us managing communication efficiently between the two parties, making sure that all the information is accurate between everyone, and limiting misinformation between everyone that is involved. So definitely that, and just the time management aspect, because I have to balance school alongside everything that I'm doing with the Pride Pantry. And it's been really a good challenge because I think my time management has already been okay before I started work with the Pride Pantry, but now it's like it's really been improved, and I'm really glad that I was able to participate in this challenge, not only because I get to help solve food insecurity on campus, but also just from a personal level, just learning that time management and just learning how to communicate with others, network with others. So yeah.
Thank you guys. So Robert, do you want to talk about what it's been like working with Luke and Xypher this semester?
Sure. I mean, you probably can tell Luke and Xypher are full of energy, full of ideas. Every time they are in my office, which is often, they come in with ideas of things they want to do and projects they want to be a part of, and events that we can do, and other ways that we can raise awareness on campus that are beyond just the projects we're doing. I tell them every time they show up, they give me more work. I'm really exhausted this semester, but I've loved working with them. They're dedicated. They're certainly committed. And Xypher has won the award for the Student Community Impact Award for Greensboro College. And so he's a part of that team with Luke. And both of them really are a team, and they do really great things together. And we're so thankful for their work. And they were, even before they started this challenge, raising food for the pantry. They did food drives their freshman year, their first years here at the breaks, right before fall break and right before spring break. And so they were natural fits for this challenge, and it is evident that they are.
I know you talked about it earlier about how listeners and viewers can get involved, talking about the football game coming up and following the Instagram page. Is there anything between now and the final day of December 20th of how people can get involved?
Well, you can always donate canned goods. They may not actually count towards our numbers, because those are the two events that are counting towards the numbers we need to raise. But they can always donate to give to students. And so that's an opportunity. There are food collection boxes around campus right beside of our pantries. And so we invite you to put the donations there and not in the pantry, so that we can weigh them, measure them. If there's food that you donate that we don't use, we donate that food to the Spartan Open Pantry, which is the larger pantry at UNCG that our students also have access to. And so we're always accepting donations. Some of the most needed donations are snacks, like fruit snacks, granola bars. They go really quickly because they're easy to grab and easy to eat. Mm-hmm. But we also need toiletry items like deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush. Those things go quickly as well, because students don't always think about having them when they get here. And then it's an inconvenience and sometimes expensive items. The other items we use are tampons and Tampads, and those are donations we also give away at the pantry too, and they're also expensive. And so those are resources that we could use if you want to donate. I would say if you want to know more, just follow our Instagram page, GC Pride Pantry. All of our information is there. All the items that we take are there that you can donate and can show up to our events that are coming up in the rest of the semester.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Robert, for joining us today, and thank you for talking about this great cause. Thank you again, Dr. Zada, and thank you all for watching. We hope you liked this episode, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.